It is either it is godly or it is not. Are in a relationship and wondering if God is involved or not. You are going to see some signs that will tell you that God is not involved in that relationship. 4 signs that God is not involved in that relationship. Number 1, difficulties in pleasing God. Do you not know that at every time it is God that give you the power and the grace to do it right? God gave you something to do for Him, probably a mission, a destiny to fulfill on earth. It is God that will still help you with the supply of grace and empower you with everything that you will need to get that thing done for Him. This is also applicable to your relationship. One sign that God is not involved in a relationship is that there will be struggle to please Him in that relationship. There are certain things that will happen and you cannot just let go. There are some boundaries that you cannot keep. It is not that God cannot help you, but because God is not involved in that relationship and there is no way you will have the empowering grace to get it done in that relationship. The question is this: before you started that relationship, did you involve God? Was it God that instructed you to go into it? Did you know if that is the person God has for you or not? These are the foundational questions that you have to sort out first before you take any start into that relationship, not that you did not go that way. It is clear that you may not be able to please God in that relationship. There are some people that are in a relationship and they become better than they were before they started the relationship. They made God the beginning and they trusted God for everything. In their walk and relationship with God, they will become better because God will use the relationship to strengthen them. When you struggle to please God, keep His words and move closely with the Lord, then you will know that God is not involved in the relationship. When God leads you into something, He will give you the help you and still keep you with His mighty power to ensure that you are not out from His sight. So if you are finding yourself in such situations, then you have to know that something has taken away the love of the Lord from your heart and you have been distracted. So the relationship is now to be broken and you go back to God because as a child of the kingdom, God is your ultimate reality, so nothing must not take you away from God. Number 2, it is not going to work easily. Though you know good things does not come easily, but there are situations that you have to take a critical thought to know if it is a case of not having God in it, or the good thing is still in the making. But it is going to be obvious that it is not working because God is not involved in it. You will put in all you can, your efforts, your understanding, your emotions, and all that is within you. But the relationship is not still working out because that is not the person and that is not the relationship that God has made for you. So it is not going to work out. Everything that has no God in it will not work as it ought to. God is the power and the force that makes your ventures and your life, even your relationships, to succeed. A sign that God isn't involved is the reason you cannot force. If the relationship is not working out, if you have invested and tried all you can into it, and it is not working, then you just know that God is not involved in it. It is very easy to know it. Any relationship that there is God, it cannot suffer, it cannot struggle, it cannot know difficulties, and even when these times come around, God is His mighty power, will take it away, and you will continue to enjoy your relationship with your spouse as you have wanted it. If it is not working, then it is not going to work, because it is wrong from the beginning. It is not the right relationship, and God cannot be in the wrong union. Number 3, you will not hear from God in it. Like Abraham, do you know that when Sarah, the wife of Abraham, told him to have her maid Haggai and go in with her so that she can bear children through her, and Abraham obliged, Throughout that period, Abraham did not hear from God. There are some relations that shut God out from your life, and when you are in that situation, that you are finding it difficult to hear from the Lord because you are in a wrong relationship that God is not involved in, please quickly get yourself out from that relationship and let God have His way and the control of your life. You cannot afford to be alone without the words from the Lord, because it is the light that will shine on your life and your path. One difficult thing that will happen to any child of God is not to hear from the Lord easily. How then do you want to get alerts and signals of danger? How then do you want to know what to do about your life in difficult times and when the season and times are tough? How would you know how to navigate through the path of life when you are not hearing from the Lord? How would you know the step to take in that relationship when you are not hearing from the Lord at that moment? Go out of it. If it is the reason you are finding it difficult to hear from the Lord, get away from it. If you are not sincere in your love for God because of the relationship, get away from it if you are getting far from the Lord because of the relationship. God speaking and you hearing from God is one privilege you must not try to take for any granted. So if you are in a relationship that God is not involved in, one sign that will show you that you will not hear from God and He will not speak to you some important and divine information about His plans and moves at the time. If this sign persists, you have to take a walk away from the relationship so that God will satisfy you with the best relationship that He will use to take you to the place of blessing and destiny in your life. Number 4, toxic and dangerous for you to bear. God will not give you or lead you and put you into some sort of relationship that will threaten your peace and health. One sign that God is not involved in that relationship is that it will become toxic and dangerous for you. The words of the Lord said, "The blessings of the Lord makes one rich and will never add sorrow or pain to it." When the relationship that is supposed to be a blessing to you becomes a means by which the devil afflicts you, then it is a simple and obvious sign that God is not involved in it. And the only thing to save yourself from being bodily and health-wisely deformed is by moving away from that relationship. Flee. Let your heel rescue you from the death ahead of you in that relationship. Do you not know that as far as God is not involved in that relationship, you will not have those things that will make your life good? Happiness will be lacking in your life. Your life will lack the joy both in heart and in spirit. The fellowship that you have to enjoy with the Lord will be lost, and your life will lack a goodwill because you have started a relationship that God was not the foundation and is not the reason you are in it. It will expose you to other dangers and vices of life. From one trouble to another trouble, always trying to save yourself from being victimized and wrongly treated. That is not what God planned for you. You have to let go when you notice this, so that you will allow God to give you the good life that He has planned for you. Staying in that relationship, you may not have access into the blessings. You may not have the opportunity to enjoy the peace and the joy God has prepared for you. Then what is life if you allow all these elude you? What then is the essence of life if you do not have this in your life? So the only thing you can do now is to stay away from anything that will destroy your life or kill your joy and happiness. Stay away from that devil-inspired relationship, because since God is not involved, then the devil will not be missing in it. That is the reason the relationship is so toxic for you. All these and more are signs for you to know that God is not involved in that relationship. You have to go away and move on to a new and better life.